I'm going to show you the easiest way and the simplest way to draft a Victorian corset. Okay, this is my bust point, my nipple point, my under bust point, and my blouse length or my hemline. Yeah, so from the middle I'm going to mark 0.5 inch. Okay, and I'm going to connect my marking with a straight line. I'm going to do that at the top as well. So after connecting my marking with a straight line, the next thing I went ahead to do was I marked out my armhole curve. Okay, so from that 0.5 inch mark, I went ahead to mark my shoulder point at the top and at my bust point, so I can have like a straight, line, not like a straight line, a straight line. Then I went ahead to insert my armhole curve. Okay, easy breezy. I've inserted my armhole curve. Now one thing I did was I went up from my bust point by 1.5 inch, or you can just mark 6.5 inches. Okay, from the top you can mark 6.5 inches, or you go up from your bust point by 1.5 inch. So that is the line I'm creating there. Okay, so I have my chest point, and that line will be my chest point. Then I have my bust point, my nipple point, my under bust point, and my hemline or blouse length. Yeah, so from the middle I marked 4 inches. Let's just insert our dart in here. Okay, so I marked 4 inches for my dart point, and I connected my markings with a straight line. Okay, so I connected my markings with a straight line. At the top, at my shoulder point, I'm just going to go in by 2.5 inches. You can make yours 2 inches. Okay, so I went in by 2.5 inches. You can work with 2 inches or 2.5 inches depending on what you want. Then at my under bust point, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides. At my under bust point, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides, and I connected that marking to the hem of the blouse. Okay, you guys can see how I'm connecting it. It's not like the normal way we do. This one is more like triangular, inverted triangle. Yeah, and I connected my nipple point to my under bust point. Okay, just what you can see there. Right now, at that point, I marked 1/2 inch on the side, and I'm going to connect it to my nipple point. If you just look at what I'm doing, if you're a little confused. Okay, and I came to that my chest point, and I took 1/2 inch. Okay, and I connected it to my nipple point. You can see now from that point I extended my tape, and I took 1/4 of my bust. Okay, then I took the distance between that space there, and I added it back to my measurement. You guys know we're going to take out that part when we are cutting, so you need to add it back to your measurement. Okay, so now to mark the circumference of my under bust, I need to fold that part because it's going to be a little confusing if I want to do the math for you guys. So just fold it and take your normal measurement. It's just going to make up for that the distance there. Okay, so just I folded it, and I took my under bust measurement, 1/4 of my under bust measurement, and I marked it. Okay, after marking it, that is 8 inches for me. Then I opened it up. So the distance, whatever I took for my under bust there, the distance after opening it up, that is what I'm going to take for at the hem of the blouse. That's what I'm going to take at the hem of the blouse, which is serving as my waist. My baby is crying. Let me get him. Method, because I want the down of this Victorian corset, this particular one, to have a little flared. Okay, so that's why whatever I took at my under bust, I opened it up. Okay, and I took the distance, and I took that at my waist. So after marking, I went ahead to connect my markings with lines. Now I want to create another piece, because you guys know that this is a Victorian corset. Okay, so it comes in pieces. I want to create another piece. So from the middle, I marked from that 0.5 inch line, I marked 1.5 inch. Okay, then I connected my markings with a straight line, So after connecting my markings with a straight line, at the under bust I took 1 cm on both sides. Okay, at the under bust I took 1 cm on both sides because I want my waist to be snatched. Hey, voila, for who doesn't snatch her waist or who will not snatch her waist. So after that, I connected my under bust to my nipple point. Okay, as you can see, just like we did for the first dart. So this is what we have here, guys. This is the first dart we are including for the front part. The first 2 darts we are including for the front part. Okay, so I'm also going to take the distance between those points and I will add it back to the pattern so my measurement is correct, because you guys know we are going to take that part out. So after adding that back to the pattern, I just erased the first initial line. Okay, I added that back to the pattern and I erased the first initial line because of course we're not working with that one anymore. Okay, which is what I'm doing here. So I used my marker so that you guys will see it very well. So at that point I went down by 1 inch. Okay, from the sides I went down by 1 inch. So I went down by 1 inch so that towards the armhole I'm going to have like a slant there, so that the corset will look curvy and it just glide into the armpit before I bite my mouth. Okay, so that's what I did there. Okay, you can see our beautiful curve. So from the center I went down by 0.5 inch. I want to give it a little sweetheart over there. And I'm just going to connect my markings to that my initial bustier point. You can see we have a very beautiful slight sweetheart going on there. You can see that this Victorian corset is very easy to draft to. It's not difficult. Okay, so you can stop here if you want. You can stop here if you want, but I still want to get one more piece from this Victoria corset. Before we go ahead to do that, let me just add my sewing allowance to this pattern. Okay, so let me add my sewing allowance to this pattern. Guys, I'm struggling. My baby is here holding me. My sewing allowance is 1 inch. Okay, on all sides, 1 inch. That's what I'm inserting there. This guy is holding me ransom. I'm literally fighting for my life to do this voiceover for you guys. Okay, so I've added 1 inch sewing allowance to the pattern. Now from that point I marked 3 inches at the top. I marked 3 inches at the top. At the under bust point I marked 2 inches. Okay, and at the bottom I marked 3 inches. So I'm just going to connect the line. You can see it's not a straight line, it's more like a slanted line, so it will give you that waist is it snatching look. Okay, for the third piece. Okay, so this is what we have here, guys. This is what the front pattern looks like. After this I just went ahead to cut out the parts I don't need, and this is what the front pattern looks like. Guys, it is very easy to cut, it's very easy to draft, it's very easy to cut. Now from the side I'm just going to take the length so that we'll have a working length for the back, because you guys know we've adjusted the pattern. So it's time to draft the back pattern. Okay, now that's my bust line, my nipple point, my under bust, and my hemline. So because I adjusted the pattern in the front part, so I'm just adding the measurement to the back pattern. Okay, so that we'll have like equal measurement both for the front and the back. Okay, so that's why I'm adjusting it, so we have a fresh starting point for the back pattern. So now that I've added the measurement to the back pattern, what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that my bust point line there, so that it's not confusing. So we'll know that okay, that first line there is the measurement we are starting with for the back pattern. Okay, and this back pattern does not have a zip allowance because we are going to do this lacing, the eyelet lacing, so I'm even going to take excess out. But let's start with the dart. So from the center I marked 4 inches. Okay, from the center I marked 4 inches. So after marking 4 inches, I connected my markings with a straight line. Okay, after connecting my marking with a straight line, the next thing I went ahead to do is from the top I marked half an inch on both sides. I also did that at the under bust point, okay, at the top and on the other bust point, and I connected my markings with a straight line. So after connecting your markings with a straight line, to connect it to your hemline, you are going to do a slanted line, not a straight line this time, a slanted line, like an inverted triangle. Okay, so this is what we have here. Right now, from that point, from the middle, that 4-inch mark, I'm going to take 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to take 2 inches because I want to create another panel for the Victorian corset. Okay, I'm going to take 2 inches. Then I connected my 2 inches mark with a straight line. So at that 2-inch point, I'm going to take half a cm on both sides. Okay, half a cm on both sides. I did this at the top and I did this at the under bust point. If you are hearing kukuru kukuru shukuru shukuru, my baby is with me in this office and is turning things upside down. I have just decided that I must do this video. So after marking half a cm on both sides, I'm going to connect my markings together, and I'm also going to connect it to the hem with a slanted line to give me that inverted triangle line. See guys, there are several ways to cut a Victorian corset. This is just one way. Other tutorials will be coming out. Okay, so now for me to mark out my measurement, I'm just going to fold those points just like we did for the front pattern, and I'm going to mark the circumference, 1/4 of the circumference of my bust. I'm also going to mark 1/4 of the circumference of my under bust point. And like we did for the front, for the hem, I'm going to open it up first of all. Okay, let me just connect the markings together. So when I open it up, whatever I have at my under bust, that is what I'll take at my hem, because I told you guys I want this thing to have a little flared. Okay, it's not like the straight Victorian corset. Okay, so I did that. Whatever I have at my under bust, I took that at my hem. That's when I open it up and I connected my markings together. So this is what we have here, guys. From the side, I added 1-inch sewing allowance. I did that at all the necessary points, and I connected my markings with slanted and straight line. If you are still hearing chuku chuku, no, my son is at work. Everywhere is upside down here. Now from the center, I marked 1.5 inch at the top. At my under bust, I marked 1 inch. At the hem, I marked 0.5 inch. I want to create sort of a slanted look for my lacing, for the lacing opening. That place that we are going to attach our lacing, I want it to look a little slanted, not the straight type. Okay, so this is what we have here. Okay, now for the back also, I also want it to look a little slanted. So for the front, I went down by 1/2 inch. Let me just tell you guys, if you are doing this, just, you know how I folded to take my measurement, please just fold it back. I made a little, you can open it up, but you can also fold it, but it's better when you fold it. So this is what we have here, guys. So that these two lines where those arrows is we are going to cut that part out, okay, out, and we're also going to cut this part out. Okay, so we'll have the full, so we'll know what we are working with for the back. Okay, so this is the back pattern. Okay, this is the back pattern. Remember to tag it number 1, number 2, number 3. Where I showed you those arrows, those are the places we are going to cut out in the back. Okay, including those dot lines. So guys, this is what the back part looks like. I told you guys that it's very easy and simple to draft a Victorian corset. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, this is Vlogmas, so come back every day for one more video. I love you. Bye.